In a world saturated with information, we often assume we are well informed. We consume news, engage in debates, and form opinions on a wide range of issues. However, what if the information we receive is carefully curated to shape our perceptions and beliefs? This unsettling question lies at the heart of Noam Chomsky's seminal work, Necessary Illusions: Thought Control in a Democratic Society. Chomsky, a renowned linguist and political activist, challenges the notion of a free and independent media. He argues that powerful institutions, particularly governments and corporations, employ sophisticated techniques to manipulate public opinion and maintain their grip on power. Through the dissemination of necessary illusions, they create a distorted reality that serves their interests. This book is not merely an academic exercise, it is a call to action. By understanding the mechanisms of thought control, we can become more critical consumers of information and challenge the narratives presented to us. Necessary Illusions is an essential read for anyone who seeks to navigate the complexities of our media-driven world and become informed, engaged citizens. At the core of Necessary Illusions lies the concept of manufacturing consent, a term coined by Chomsky and his co-author, Edward S. Herman, in their earlier work, Manufacturing Consent: The Political Economy of the Mass Media. This theory posits that the mass media, far from acting as a neutral watchdog, actively participates in shaping public opinion to align with the interests of powerful elites. Chomsky argues that this manipulation is not necessarily a result of a grand conspiracy but rather a systemic bias inherent in the structure of media organizations. These organizations, often owned by large corporations or dependent on government funding, are beholden to powerful interests that influence their editorial decisions. This bias manifests in various ways, including the selection of news stories, the framing of issues, and the choice of experts and commentators. By subtly shaping the information presented to the public, the media effectively manufactures consent for specific policies, ideologies, and even wars. To illustrate how the manufacturing of consent operates in practice, Chomsky outlines 5 filters of reality that shape the information we receive through the media. These filters act as gatekeepers, determining what information reaches the public and how it is presented. The first filter is ownership. As mentioned earlier, media organizations are often owned by large corporations with their own vested interests. These interests can influence editorial decisions, leading to the suppression of stories that could harm the parent company or its affiliates. The second filter is advertising. Media outlets rely heavily on advertising revenue, making them beholden to advertisers. This dependence can lead to self-censorship, as media organizations may avoid publishing content that could alienate advertisers. The third filter is sourcing. Media outlets rely on official sources such as government agencies and corporations for information. This reliance can create a bias towards official narratives, as journalists may be reluctant to challenge powerful institutions. The fourth filter is flack. Media outlets can be subjected to criticism, lawsuits, and other forms of pressure from powerful individuals and organizations. This flack can discourage critical reporting and encourage self-censorship. The fifth filter is ideology. Media professionals often share a common ideological outlook, which can unconsciously influence their reporting. This shared ideology can lead to a narrow range of perspectives being represented in the media. Throughout Necessary Illusions, Chomsky provides numerous examples of how these filters have been employed to manipulate public opinion on a wide range of issues. From the Vietnam War to the invasion of Iraq, he demonstrates how the media has consistently presented a distorted view of reality to justify military interventions and other controversial policies. One striking example is the media coverage of the 1991 Gulf War. Chomsky argues that the media, relying heavily on official sources, presented a highly sanitized version of the war, downplaying civilian casualties and exaggerating Iraqi atrocities. This biased coverage, he contends, helped to manufacture consent for a war that was ultimately based on dubious pretenses. Chomsky's analysis is not limited to historical events. He also examines contemporary issues such as the war on terror and the rise of corporate power, demonstrating how the filters of reality continue to shape public opinion in the 21st century. Section 5, Echoes of Orwell. Parallels to 1984 and Totalitarian Control. Chomsky's analysis of media manipulation has drawn comparisons to George Orwell's dystopian novel, 1984. In Orwell's totalitarian state of Oceania, the government controls every aspect of people's lives, including their thoughts and beliefs. The Ministry of Truth, responsible for propaganda, constantly rewrites history and manufactures consent for the ruling party's agenda. While Chomsky acknowledges the parallels between his work and Orwell's fiction, he emphasizes that the mechanisms of thought control in democratic societies are more subtle and insidious. Instead of overt censorship, democratic governments rely on the manipulation of information and the creation of necessary illusions to maintain their power. Despite these differences, the comparison to 1984 serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked propaganda and the importance of critical thinking in the face of official narratives. Section 6. The Illusion of Choice. Media Consolidation and Limited Perspectives. One of the most concerning trends in the modern media landscape is the increasing consolidation of media ownership. As a handful of corporations control a vast majority of media outlets, the diversity of voices and perspectives available to the public is shrinking. This consolidation has serious implications for democracy. With fewer independent sources of information, it becomes easier for powerful interests to shape public opinion and control the narrative on critical issues. The illusion of choice, where consumers believe they have a wide range of options, masks the reality of a highly concentrated media landscape. Chomsky argues that this trend towards media consolidation poses a significant threat to democratic values. Without access to a diversity of viewpoints, citizens are ill-equipped to make informed decisions about their lives and hold their leaders accountable. Section 7. Breaking through the noise: critical thinking in the age of information overload. In today's digital age, we are bombarded with an overwhelming amount of information from a multitude of sources. While the internet has democratized access to information, it has also made it more challenging to discern fact from fiction. Chomsky emphasizes the importance of critical thinking as a vital tool for navigating this complex information landscape. He urges readers to question everything they read and hear, to consider the source of information, and to be wary of narratives that confirm their existing biases. Developing critical thinking skills is an ongoing process that requires effort and vigilance. However, it is an essential skill for anyone who seeks to become an informed and engaged citizen in the 21st century. Section 8. The Power of Awareness: Challenging Necessary Illusions. Necessary Illusions is not a pessimistic book. While Chomsky paints a sobering picture of the forces that shape our perceptions, he also offers a message of hope. By becoming aware of the mechanisms of thought control, we can begin to challenge the narratives presented to us and reclaim our ability to think critically. Chomsky encourages readers to seek out alternative sources of information, engage in open and respectful dialogue, and participate in democratic processes. By becoming more informed and engaged citizens, we can contribute to creating a more just and equitable society. The power to challenge necessary illusions lies within each of us. By embracing critical thinking, seeking out diverse perspectives, and engaging in meaningful dialogue, we can break free from the shackles of thought control and create a more informed and democratic future. Section 9. Conclusion: Towards a more informed and engaged citizenry. Necessary Illusions is a powerful and thought-provoking work that challenges us to question the information we consume and the narratives that shape our worldviews. Chomsky's analysis of media manipulation and the manufacturing of consent remains as relevant today as it was when the book was first published. In an era of increasing media consolidation, information overload, and political polarization, the need for critical thinking and media literacy has never been greater. By understanding the mechanisms of thought control, we can become more discerning consumers of information and more engaged citizens. Necessary Illusions is not a comfortable read, but it is an essential one. It is a call to action for all of us to become more critical thinkers, to challenge the narratives presented to us, and to work towards a more informed and democratic society.